All right, today we're diving into a really fascinating story, Mankind Pharma. We're going to look at exactly how they went from a tiny startup to this absolute giant in India's pharmaceutical world. So yeah, let's get right into it.
Okay, so to really get what Mankind is all about, you've got to understand the scale we're talking about here. This isn't just another successful company. No, it's a true phenomenon in Indian healthcare. Their story? It's all about mind-blowing growth and some seriously smart moves.
So that kind of begs the big question, right? Think about it. India is a market with over 1 billion people. Super competitive. How on earth do you not just survive, but actually become the #1 choice for doctors all over the country?
Well, the answer is in this one, absolutely staggering number. Get this, over 40 crore prescriptions every single year. That's not just a statistic, That is a massive vote of confidence from doctors. It's why they've been the undisputed leader in prescriptions for 6 years straight. Just incredible.
But look, this kind of dominance doesn't just happen by accident. It wasn't overnight. It was built on a super focused, deliberate, and crazy fast growth journey. I mean, you just don't see this kind of thing very often in the industry.
So, let's just trace this journey. Back in 1995, they started small, just over 5 crore. Fast forward to 2007, and boom, they hit 500 crore. Then, just over a decade later, they jumped to 5,000 crore. And by this year, 2024, they've blown past the 10,000 crore mark. The thing that's truly wild here is the acceleration. Each jump is massive, way bigger than the last. That's what exponential growth looks like, and it's the kind of thing that completely shakes up an industry.
Okay, so we've seen the what, those amazing numbers, but now let's get into the why. What's the philosophy, the big idea that's driving all this? For Mankind, it really comes down to one core mission, bringing quality healthcare to all of India. Not just the big cities, but to what they call Bharat, the heartland of the country.
And listen, this isn't just some empty corporate slogan. This quote from the chairman, Ramesh Junja, really says it all. It gets right to the heart of it. From day one, when he was a medical rep himself, the whole point was to serve everyone with medicine that was both affordable and high quality.
And here's the proof that they're actually walking the talk. This chart is so telling. Look at that. A full 53% of their money comes from Tier 2 cities and rural areas. That's more than any of the other top 10 pharma companies in India. So they're not just saying they serve Bharat, they're actually dominating that market.
So what's the secret sauce? How do they pull this off? Well, it really rests on 4 key pillars. First, accessibility. They have one of the biggest teams on the ground, reaching over 500,000 doctors. It's a huge network. Second, affordability. This is key. They play a volume game, get tons of prescriptions out there, which lets them manufacture at a massive scale and keep those prices down for everyone. Third, quality. They don't compromise. They make about 75% of their stuff in-house, so they control everything from start to finish. And finally, it's their people. They've built a culture that's all about getting things done and getting them done right.
But here's the thing. You don't get to this level by just sticking to the same old plan. The world changes, and India's health needs started to shift in a big way. And Mankind, they adapted. They made a massive strategic pivot, probably one of the most important moves they've ever made. And here's why they had to change. The reality is pretty stark. Because of lifestyle changes, India saw this huge rise in chronic diseases. We're talking diabetes, heart conditions, things like that. These now cause more than half of all deaths in the country. So Mankind looked at this and saw it as more than just a business opportunity. They saw it as a responsibility.
And you can see exactly how successful that pivot was right here on this chart. I mean, in just a handful of years, the money they made from these chronic disease treatments shot up from 28% to a projected 37% of their total business. That's a huge, deliberate shift of the entire company towards long-term healthcare.
Now, to make this shift happen, they couldn't just keep doing what they were doing. They had to totally evolve their approach on the ground. They kept their great relationships with general doctors, sure, but they also launched more than 10 new teams specifically to talk to the specialists, the MDs, the DMs, the top experts in hospitals who are really on the front lines of treating these chronic illnesses.
All right, let's talk about what all this strategy actually created. And that is some serious brand power. Seriously, Mankind isn't just making medicines. They're absolute masters at building brands that become household names, brands that doctors and patients really trust.
23. That's the number. 23 different brand families that they've grown into 100 crore plus blockbusters. Just let that sink in. Building one brand like that is hard. They've done it 23 times. It's just a phenomenal achievement.
And it's not just about having a lot of big brands. It's about how dominant those brands are. Of their top brands, an incredible 19 of them are ranked in the top 3 in their field. That means they are not just present, they are leading the conversation in all these different areas. And at the end of the day, this is the result. This incredible portfolio of powerful brands is the engine that lets mankind consistently grow 1.3 to 1.5 times faster than the entire Indian pharma market. It shows you a direct line from smart brand strategy to outperforming everyone else.
So, where does a giant like this go from here? Well, mankind is looking to the future, and they're betting big on 2 things to stay ahead: sustainability and a massive digital transformation.
And their vision for the future is about more than just numbers. This statement here shows you that they're focused on responsible growth, not just profits. For them, things like environmental and social responsibility aren't just a side project, it's baked right into their main mission of serving people. And again, they're backing this up with real action, not just words. For instance, they now recycle 45% of their wastewater. That's a solid, measurable number that proves they're serious about reducing their impact on the planet.
This forward-thinking mindset doesn't stop with the environment either. It extends right into technology. And on the digital side, they are going all in. We're talking about weaving next-gen tech like AI, IoT, and advanced analytics into every single part of the business, from how they make their products to how they sell them. And this isn't just talk. These aren't just buzzwords. They've got real projects making a real difference. They have Superman SFA, which is this AI-boosted platform for their sales team. They're using AI and IoT sensors to predict when factory machines need maintenance. And they have these big initiatives, Project Pace and Project Wave, that are using tech to totally reinvent their supply chain. What they're really doing is building a much smarter, faster company from the ground up.
So this all leaves us with one big, final question to think about. Mankind built this empire by making healthcare affordable for millions. Now they're plugging high-tech innovation and data science right into that model. So you have to wonder, is this unique mix of mass-market affordability and cutting-edge tech, is this the blueprint for the future of healthcare? Not just for India, but maybe for the entire world.